All right, we'll call the order the Monday, April the 22nd, 2011 Public Safety Committee to order.
About August.
And I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last month.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Would I say the wrong date?
You said April, I believe.
Oh, did I? I mean, August 22nd.
That's the report I got in.
All right, first on the agenda tonight will be the fire department, fire and rescue.
First page of the package, just some of my activities we've been doing. I will call your attention down to August the 12th. I met with a gentleman that is a fire instructor for the Tennessee Fire Academy. He's expressed some interest in training in Rutherford County, and with his credentials, he can teach any class that the Fire Academy offers through the ACI program, which we want to try to teach firefighter survival and RIT class, which will be for instead of $123 a person, it'll be $180 for the whole class. So that's going to save us considerable amount of training dollars on that. And plus, we have some requests for some officer training. He can also teach the Officer 1 class. So that's about almost $200 per person. So if we can get these classes for $180 per class, will be a major impact on our department. The next page is NVAs. Average response time was 7.6 minutes. And if you'll notice out there to the right, I put down which calls were extrications, and we also had a fatality.
On the West Jefferson and Roanoke one, did Walter Hill get there quicker, even though they're not a rescue anymore? Or whatnot?
Actually, Allenville and Walter Hill got there at the same time.
Okay.
And worked extremely well together. We life-flied that lady, and she later succumbed to her injuries.
Well, 12 minutes to that location is still better than where it was 2 years ago. That's a lot better response
of course,
time
they're
than
coming
it
from
was.
Allenville, so they took 840 straight down to Jefferson Pike to that location. The next sheet is shows the training hours for each department, also the water usage and their call volume, call runs. And the last sheet is just the structure fires report that we will report to the codes department.
Looks like Allenville been stay busy on all three of them.
Yeah, they probably, as far as, especially with MBAs, their unit runs more MBA calls than anybody. Of course, they cover from the 66-mile marker all the way up to the 74, I think. So they got the heavy runs around Smyrna. Also, if you look at your next packet, I got is that.
Let's do your report first.
That's part of it.
Oh, it is? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Because Ms. Phillips has asked about this several times. I met with Gerald Busey today, our architect, on the Midland Fossil Station, and he told me this is the 4th drawing that he has come up with. And after the conversation he had with Chief Walker, he felt like that this was kind of what they mutually agreed on. And so I told him, well, this is what we're going to go with. And this meets all codes. It's drawn to codes, and it's got 2 offices in it, and it's got the upstairs. Of course, when it will be finished, the only thing that's going to be finished is just going to be a shell of a building, insulated with a heater in it. But we drew it to code, so when it is finished out, this is what it will look like.
The groundbreaking on that's when?
The groundbreaking on the county fire station is this Friday at 2:30.
Okay.
Now, this is the Midland Falls drawing. We've been having trouble back and forth, and he said he met with Mr. Walker, and he tentatively agreed on this. he's gonna send him a copy of this, and I told him that he just needs to tell him this is what we're gonna go with, because it's been drawn out, and I think Mr. Busey has become aggravated because this is also wheelchair accessible bathrooms too, which everything is up to code.
This building is pretty similar, just looking at it, to what Williamson County has for their fire stations. If you ever go there and look at theirs, it's almost identical looking as what Williamson County has, and it's a good plan.
And of course, the third page shows the upstairs side view, kind of gives you an idea what it looks like. But I wanted to, and after I meet with Mr. Busey today and discussing this, I want to bring that before y'all, let you know where we stood at, because Commissioner Phillips has requested several times information on that, so we did meet with him today, and he gave me a copy of this, and I want to make that available to y'all tonight.
Any questions on the report?
Well, those 3 structure fires, was anything saved, or did it?
I don't know, they must have been pretty minor, because most major, the Kingman Avenue fire I was on, but a lot of times it may be just a room and contents, but the Kingman Avenue fire, when we got there, there was heavy fire coming out of the garage space. The 14-year-old there had been cutting the yard, pulled the lawnmower in the garage, and there was a significant V pattern right there where the lawnmower was parked. So it started from the lawnmower and went up through the attic of the garage, and we kept it, we contained it in the, of course it went through the roof of the garage, we contained it in the 2nd floor upstairs. So all the bedrooms, hallway, and kitchen space was basically had smoke damage. So they did a trip, Allenville and the county fire department was on that fire and did a tremendous job of holding it back. And as far as Shores Road and Clover, I think those are just minor runs.
Anybody else? I entertain a motion on the report.
Motion to approve the reports.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Yes,
I'd also like to request permission from this committee to apply for the AFG grant. We are looking at replacing, trying to go for a replacement of a 75-foot aerial ladder truck, and then also a fire rescue vehicle and a mobile cascade system, which will give us air on a mobile air, be able to refill our bottles. Right now, we heavily rely on sort, and if there was a situation where they're out of pocket on another call, it would affect us.
Is it 100%?
No, there'll be some. There will be some. It depends on what we get, what we actually get, but the county will have a share of it. 5%, 10%.
Depends on the population of what the new county fire and rescue, the first due area is. It's what the matching grant will be, anywhere from 20 to 5%.
But the biggest issue that we see, if we get something this year, we'll be lucky, because this money is going to dwindle out very quickly over the next couple of years. Matter of fact, they cut it in half, and it went back through Congress and the Senate, and they got it back up to where it was at, 400 million, I think. But if we can secure another rescue vehicle, it would be very advantageous to us, because the one we have that we're going to replace in Allenville, I've already spent about $6,000 on that truck since July 1st, and it's in the shop right now. So it's pretty bad shape, and this will give us another new vehicle, hopefully.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, what's the total grant if you got everything you asked for?
Well, the new ladder truck's going to be about $690,000. But with the houses that we have out in the county, man, we have some very large square footage houses, and a lot of them are 2 and 3 story.
Yeah.
That would be a big advantage on that. And then, of course, the fire rescue truck's going to be around probably $275,000.
Yeah, Bedford County has a 75-foot aerial. Williamson County Volunteer has a 100-foot aerial. I mean, we need one for the houses that we have in this community.
I don't really, to be honest with you, I can't tell you the mobile cascade system what that would run. Probably 10 to 15,000. But the chances of us getting all 3 of those are pretty slim. So I mean, if we can get one, I'll be tickled.
And are we going to file those as 3 separate applications?
We can file both of the trucks as one application, but we'll probably do them all 3 separately.
I'd hate to file both of those trucks as one application and ask for $900,000
Yeah.
and
Well-
shoot ourselves in the foot.
We'll do
I think
three different.
you have to ask for them separately because they're three separate grants the way that works, so.
But-
We'll work that out detail. We want to be sure we have the best probability of success.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say, the grant class I went to said you could ask for multiple vehicles, but I think it'd be better to,
I do
and
too.
I think it'd be better to do three different ones, but although if you ask for two in one grant, they might grant you one and deny the other, but
I
still
don't
don't
know how the
take
whole
that
thing
chance.
goes. It's too big a
Yeah.
request. I don't know.
Well, if you can show the need part of it and
Justification.
justification,
And-
and it also helps too, whenever you do those, if you can bring in all the volunteer departments and kind of where it's gonna benefit all the volunteer fire
Well, the ladder
departments.
truck would.
So that shows that need even more.
And, well, I've got a meeting in the morning at 8 o'clock with Miss Elam, so we're gonna look at that.
Yeah. You've heard the request. If there's no other questions, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, second. Is there any discussion?
I got another question. Where would say, if we got both trucks, we're looking at 20%, we're looking at $200,000. Where would that money come from?
That'd be, I guess, your decision and budget committee. But this would be a year from now, by the time it goes through the grant process, it would be next year.
Yeah. You're just approving the
Catch
application.
concept, yeah.
uh,
But you gotta think of the end result, or, that's what you're hoping for, right?
You would have to hopefully have a decision to make.
Okay.
Anybody else? All right. All in favor of the motion, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Sheriff Department report.
Good evening, everybody.
How y'all doing?
First, when we get started, I'll start down at this end, and at that end, for y'all to see the new patch we're going to. You'll pass that around.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat looking patch.
Yeah. I don't think you can get anything more in a patch. It's got everything in it, county seal and everything else.
Doing, comparing all those that you have on your walls out there and taking the good points from each
We were
one.
designing that one down there.
That's pretty sharp. You got a copy of these?
Yeah.
We've been busy. Our cold case class that they gave out at the Doubletree went like gangbusters, and they really had a good class out there. So item number one here on the amendment list is the remaining registration fees that came in for that. And so we want to put that back into the training line item, those funds that come in. We use them to pay off the guys that did some of the speeches and stuff, and taught some of the classes and things like that. And they ended up, I think, probably having, it was overall about $24,000 came in. And they've managed to, after all expenses, they're probably still gonna have about 14 left over. So they've done pretty good. They've ended up with a profit, so it's pretty good. And I don't know if they're gonna do this again next year or not.
We're gonna
but,
try.
Yeah, that's, I think the popularity of the class will probably get to be something a lot of cold case guys will start coming to across the U.S.
They've asked for us to do it again next year. They've asked us to do some other type of schools to specifically gear towards certain things that were in that school that they want more training on. And these were departments from Canada to Los Angeles to New York City that they were begging us, hey, this was a great school. These are better than what schools that we've been going to. Can you please get these experts together and put the class on for us? So we're going to try to do it.
You know, guys did a really good job on that. So that's where that's from. Next one is the 911 Memorial bricks are selling, still going pretty strong. So there's 4,100 there that was come in. We're going to put that into our $399 line item to pay for those. The next one, the $1,270 is a conglomeration of money that was donated to the memorial, but not for bricks. So this will go towards construction. Also, the K-9 unit had money donated, and the Law Post Explorers has some money for them. And of course, we'll break all that out when we put it in our budget. recycled some more material, item number 4, and so that'll go back in repair and maintenance of the building. The kitchen recycled some of their materials, and so that's why it's going into a separate line item under food prep supplies, because wherever the stuff was bought out of, we put it back in to the same line item.
What we've been recycling out of the cafeteria is the cans that, like green beans and stuff, come in. All those cans, you save them up, wash them out, save them up for a while, sell that steel back. So with different things like that is what we've been trying to do.
The next one is for the SCAN program and Operation Integrity funds and fees that have come in through that. So we can put that into the 499 line item. Let's see, the next one is the sale of materials. I forget, let's see, yeah, copies of records. So we had an attorney's office out of Nashville that wanted to pay $252 for copies of records for a case, and so we fixed him right up. So, so that's where that money came from. So we're putting that back in our office supplies account. Contributions was for donations that came in for the vegetable garden. And then the $17,774 was medical reimbursement from the state of Tennessee, and we're going to put that into Dr. Webb's line item. And then we recycled some materials from the Mounted Patrol Division, and so we're going to put that back into his line item as well, in the 399 line item. That's all I have for amendments this evening.
Any questions on the request?
What did you recycle from Mounted Patrol?
There was a bunch of steel that a lady had a old barn a few years ago. She gave Levi and the Mounted Patrol Division, there was a hailstorm hit her horse barn, and she had new steel put on it all the way through it. She gave, as they took it down, they kept it as in pristine condition as they could. She gave it to Levi to either build him a barn on the sheriff's office property or to take that material and put in to help further the Mounted Patrol Division. So it had been sitting back behind the impound lot for a few years. There's another deal in the works with the Mounted Patrol, and so Levi decided he wanted to sell that and put that money back into the Mounted Patrol, and we allowed him to do so.
Where are the horses being housed now?
Right now, they're still over where at Ricky Womack's stables, and
I've got that too.
yeah, we've got that too.
Any more questions? All right, is there a motion on the request?
Shoot, this is money coming in, so I'll definitely make the motion, and we take it.
We got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
And a second, all right, discussion. Call roll?
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
Commissioner Pigg?
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Farley?
Yes. All right.
The other reports that you got are just copies of our budgeted line items. Pretty much, we're still early enough in the year, there's no real damage being done in the line items at this point in time, so. If there's any questions, we can entertain those.
If y'all want to read over that, and once anybody is ready to go through with it, they can make a motion once they. Or they can ask a question.
How is Dr. Rudd coming along with?
He's in the middle of still shopping his insurance quite a bit. I think he's also got a conference coming up, I think in October, and he's gonna, I think it's gonna have a whole lot of people marketing and trying to cut deals at that time, so that's one he's kind of looking forward to, is a conference he's going to, he's got some deals there.
I was out there the other day, and I seen some new vehicles out there on the lot. Have you, how's that going?
We've ordered the 20 new vehicles. Those were the 6 that I brought to y'all last month and showed y'all that
Yeah.
the savings we saved on those vehicles. Those are in, getting the equipment, what's left of the equipment we need to get for them, get them striped, and we'll get them out to the road as soon as possible.
Is this just for July or year to date?
Year
This
to
year
date.
to date, yeah. This was totally up to date as of today as to what we've encumbered.
I know quite a bit of gas has already been used. Is that
So what now?
the gasoline?
Uh-huh.
about 25%'s already been used, and anticipate
Well,
problems?
now, what he does is he will go ahead and encumber a lot of purchase orders at $75,000 apiece
Mhm.
in advance, and go ahead and get those POs issued. So we've encumbered the money, we haven't spent the money.
Okay.
And then, as we use it, and they come out and fill the tanks, and they just bill it against that purchase order, and then usually if there's $5,000 or $10,000 left over, we'll just cancel the tail on that PO and roll it into the new ones, and so
Okay.
it's kind of a rolling average, so. We'll be able to tell a lot more about that and how that account's gonna go, probably around January, February. Hopefully gas is coming down.
I will say, on food for inmates, when we averaged this back in the winter, we were averaging our inmate population at, between 650 and 700. The other day, we got up to 801. So our numbers have been going up ever since we did our budget for this year. So just want to let you know right now, hopefully, they'll go that way down. But just to let you know right now how that's going.
We're trying.
Correct.
You better make yourself some little greenhouses out there, or cold frames or something for the winter.
The tents are illegal in the state of Tennessee. I've already looked.
Anybody got any questions on report? If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion is carried. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. He's got several things while he's getting that ready. I didn't make copies, I'm sorry. I'll have them in your box tomorrow morning. But I've got a list here of the new HVAC guy that we hired. He's kind of kept up with kind of what he's been doing and what he would have charged when he was still working for the other company on an hourly rate and all that, what he would have billed us. Right now, we're not even through the month here, and it's $13,270 he's saved Rutherford County so far because of what he would have charged based against his salary. So
Is it since July and August?
yeah,
And he got hired July.
he got July.
July 1.
No, it was actually he started July
Oh, that's right.
10th, I believe it was.
10th or 11th, yeah.
So basically roughly 6 weeks,
6
5,
weeks.
6 weeks
yeah.
of.
Yeah, he's already saved us $13,200 versus probably what, about $2,000 in salary. So
Plus, you're gonna get preventive out of him too,
Yes.
that
That's
you
the
didn't
big
have.
thing,
that's the big thing is a
before,
lot of these air conditioners hadn't been maintained since they were put in the building. So want to let you know that. Also let you know that as of today, with the new bail bonding fee, we collected $5,395. We have an outstanding with two companies of $125. One of them said they would be down there later on this evening to pay theirs. The other one I left a message. So just let you know if that's coming in too.
That's an additional fee that,
That's the additional $5 fee that we could start charging for each charge. So we only had 3 people write in protest on their checks when they turned them in.
What can you use that money for?
Right now it goes back to the general fund. It's not
Merry Christmas.
yeah, Merry Christmas. And actually, we were told last year when we were looking and wanting things to find more money, and we would talk about them. So we found more money later on. We'll talk about them. And this is where you're getting, again, this is a resolution that we have, and I'll let Joe explain it.
This is a proposed resolution that Lieutenant Chris Dale has worked up for us at the office. And this is to charge the inmates for all of the, what's the word I'm looking for?
And all the, for their underwear, their socks, their
Yeah.
toothbrush, toothpaste, underarm deodorant. If they're not indigent, then we can charge for it. The county can charge for it. Right now, the county gives this stuff away. When an inmate comes in, you give them 3 pairs of boxers, 3 pairs of socks, underarm deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush. You give them everything they need, even if they are not indigent. So now, if they're still indigent, it means they can't pay for it, then we have to give that to them by law. This resolution will allow, if the county commission should choose, we can start collecting for that. And we figure roughly about between $30,000 to $40,000 a year, roughly, that the county will save. It's already in our budget, but if we do this and we are collecting it, if they come into jail with money, then, and they get sent upstairs, then we will charge them for this, and it will come out of their commissary account. So the county will get their money back.
All their clothing and hygiene items.
Yes.
And we cannot charge them any more than it cost us. It's just reimbursements. We're not making a profit off of this.
Yes, we don't make any money off of it. And actually, the state will audit us periodically to make sure that we are always running, to make sure that we are not charging a penny more than what it costs for Rutherford County.
Has this been through the county attorney's office?
Yes, that's how it got here, but they ran it
That's where all the
through.
whereas comes from.
Can you define indigent?
Indigent means someone that comes to jail with no money.
With no money.
What about their family?
Well, their family could put money on their books, but right now, when they come in, they have no money, no means. Anytime that they have any money put on their books, say their family comes in and puts money on their books, then we keep a debt, and so say you come in and I'm in jail and you put money on my books and I owe the county money. Well, then as soon as you put $20 on my books and I owe the county $21, I still owe the county $1. So
So if they come in, put money in the commissary for ketchup,
mhm.
y'all gonna
Yeah.
take it for boxers?
Yeah. Actually, we're not, you are. This is all on you, but we found it.
Mayor, you-
total amount you're talking
about charging per?
We don't have a amount that I could tell you tonight that we're doing, because we have to, whenever we start this, is when we figure out what we pay for it, or what the county pays for it.
I got a question.
Yes.
Now, what if this inmate go to court, find out he's not the person, you had him in there for 10 days, and we charged him this?
He needed these things in jail, so,
Will he be reimbursed?
no.
But he can keep the underwear.
Yeah, that becomes his property. Basically, he's buying them from the county at cost.
So he can't sue?
Right now, yeah, no. He's buying them from the county at cost.
How much is the packet? You said they initially get an indigent kit or whatever. How much is all the boxers and the flip-flops?
We don't have a cost on it right this second to say that all these boxers and what it is right this minute. I didn't come with that.
Okay, so $21 is not what?
No, it probably, I don't know, how much is a pack of boxers at Walmart? Probably $5, and that's maybe 12 of them in a pack, so we put 3 in there, and then you have a bar of soap, and a toothbrush, and toothpaste, underarm deodorant.
We're not talking 50 or 60 bucks.
No.
I mean, it's actually pretty minor. It's just, when you have, what, I don't know, 10,000 people go through the jail in
Yeah.
a year, I mean, that adds up,
It's
so.
just taking the bill off the taxpayer.
It's just taking the bill off the taxpayer and putting it to people that are using
The taxpayers didn't put them in there.
No. And like I said, they're buying it from the county. That's all they're doing. They're buying
Yeah.
it from the county. When they leave, they take it with them.
But they don't have any family to put any money in, then the county pays.
Then the county has to pay for it. The county pays for it now, just like with medical care and stuff like that.
I'll make a motion to approve this, but when this comes to budget, I want to see those figures.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right, we got a motion, we got a second.
Second.
Second. All right, Mayor, you raised your hand a while ago.
My question was, how do we properly define indigent, whether the money is in hand when they come in, or does it come in, as you've indicated, maybe through the course of putting in the commissary, through what period of time are we gonna hold that?
Yeah.
Actually, our books go, we keep books
Yeah.
for almost ever. We've got stuff on the books saying that somebody came in from 20 years ago still owes, money for going down to the doctor. If they ever come back and they have money in their pocket, as soon as they come in, boom, we're gonna take it. And it's gonna go back to the county for doctor bills.
So you're gonna bill against every person that comes in there? You're gonna-
Yeah, there's automatically an account set up for each person, kind of, I guess you would say by name and social security number, that each person that ever comes in has an account set up for them, and if there's ever any cost that occurs, we know about it, and if they ever come back and, if they have money and they did not, or were not able to pay for something when they were here last time, even if it was 20 years ago, we've still got it somewhere, and we'll go in the computer will flag it and tell us, and we'll immediately move it over. That's how we do medical bills already.
And that would be for state prisoners also?
That'd be for everybody.
Anybody walks in the door?
I'm still on the first page of a 2/3 vote, not having read it. What is that with the
Like I
Let's
said,
just-
this
let's
is
just-
all the county commission. If the county commission
Yeah.
chooses to do this, there has to be a 2/3 vote to make this into, Yeah.
From the state.
to elect to do this. Y'all have to vote on
Are
this.
there any other counties doing it?
I believe there's a few. Chris Deal could tell me. I can get back with you on that.
All right, I'd just like to see what other.
Because that's where
counties are doing
that's
it.
where Lieutenant Deal came up with this at. He was calling around, and actually told us to find money, so we started calling around to other counties and started asking them what do they do and trying to figure out what they were doing different than what we were doing.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Is there any more questions or discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And
Anything
it's on the budget.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I've got the lease agreement copies for everybody for the horse farm. Several pages, it's got some illustrations to it.
Do you want- I need that copy.
And I've still got the-
You need my copy?
It's pretty straightforward on this contract. It's with Womack
Only
Stables.
two copies.
Only if it goes to budget.
I mean,
She's gonna need a new copy.
yeah.
He'll give you his when he gets there.
There's four I gave you.
But she'll need another.
If it goes to budget, I'll need another
You
copy.
probably
Oh,
can.
okay, all right, no problem. I'll email it to you. This is for 11 stables that we have. It's over at Womack Stables, which is on Barfield Crescent Road, where I think we've been in the past. It's for $200 a month, and it's a 1-year contract with a 5-year option. For up to 5 years, you can renew year after year. And what you see pictured.
Does it automatically renew?
Yes. Let's see, where is that, under the term? No, it doesn't have an automatic renewal on it. Trying to do it.
So we'll have to bring it back every year.
So anyway, yeah, and that, but that's, which is kind of good. It's got a renewal option, there's an option at the end of the first year, which
It
I
won't
guess
have to come back through commission. Once you approve this, then the sheriff and/or the landlord can give a 60-day notice if they want to go for another year.
Mhm.
Okay.
How many horses do you have?
7.
Yeah. Seven.
And they were a tremendous help at the Smyrna Antioch football game this past Friday night. I mean, Laverne Antioch, sorry.
They were a big help one night at Riverdale too.
They were a huge help. I was there both times that they were.
They worked the air show out there in the heat. I felt sorry for them.
Well, and they also work out there at Christmas time with all the shopping malls, and they've been doing patrols through neighborhoods through the week, so they're out and about just about every day.
I've given a copy of this to the mayor for his review. I believe the next step, if y'all approve it tonight, is to go to property management, so.
Is there any questions on the lease agreement?
Do we normally bid out something like this, Matt? I know property management, you're on that committee, aren't you?
Yes, but, do we normally bid it out?
Being that it's
No. Looking at the amount of money, a certain amount of money we don't have to bid.
Yeah, if it were,
This is
if it was $10,000,
Yeah.
we'd have to bid it out, but it's less than
that, so we don't
5,000.
have to bid
It's
it.
under 5, we only have to.
Yeah, that wasn't my question. My question was, do we normally bid it out?
No, not at this amount.
Walmart's been housing horses for years.
For years, yes.
Well, I think they've, it's kind of been they've been generous about going out and working with the department, and I think that's one reason it's, the lease is as cheap as it is.
Yes. He's been donating it for $1 a year in the past, but with everything that's come up and the different things, with having exclusive areas and stuff like that, he's asked for, for a little bit more money. Levi has got the Rotary Club to also donate a year's worth of lease money for it. He's also got the recycled materials. He's thinking that he could probably get every year a club to donate the money for the lease for the program, but this is basically puts us back in compliance. So.
And that's kind of why I was asking a while ago if it's an automatic renewal, just in case, you know, God forbid, something come up again and someone forgets it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the reason I asked that question a while ago.
Yeah, so everything should be up and going and working fine now. According to the county attorneys. County attorneys are the ones that drafted this.
Under number 7, it says that we're responsible for repairs. Does that, do they have insurance on it, or does that include, I mean, I understand that if, you know, we run a truck into the barn, then we need to fix it. But what if there's a tornado that comes through, or, you know, some type of natural disaster?
That would be an
If the
active cause.
tornado comes through and just completely demolishes the building, the landlord will have to make a decision if he wants to replace it.
Right.
He doesn't have to.
Okay, but we're not responsible for
We're
it.
not
This just
responsible.
means if we cause damage.
Yes.
Okay,
If the horse kicks, you know, through the door or something like that.
okay,
If you go out there and the horse kicks you through the door.
okay.
Is there any more questions?
Just wanna make sure.
If there's no other questions, is there a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion, and we got a second. Discussion.
Well, on line 6 there, on the insurance, that was brought up. Is that just, that's liability insurance, I assume, on anybody going on the property? Is that all that is, not anything to do with,
Yeah, it's just casualty and liability, yeah.
okay. Well, this is going to property management, or I'd be saying no till I can sit down and read it for a while. but-
We'll see it Thursday night, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there any other questions? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The last thing we had.
I got somebody.
Pass it around, there
Right.
we go. Oh, yeah. All those are the attaboys that we've been getting in. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit, but they're letters of commendation and stuff.
Those are all the letters we wrote, I think, for the past month. Letters of commendation. You were talking about the accident there on Jefferson Pike. I think I signed 6 commendations today.
Back behind them are letters from people, other departments, other agencies. The top letter is one that the sheriff would write to the officer. And then back behind that, you'll see from other departments and.
Yeah, one of them, I don't know, he's running for president. One of the senators wrote a letter of commendation in there. He's running for president. One of our ICE units helped fix a flat tire for one of his staff members on the interstate, and he was very thankful for that.
It's good to see things like this, because normally you don't ever see nothing but the bad stuff sometimes. It's always good to see the good stuff.
So we figured we'd start bringing y'all up every so often, the letters of commendation we write, because each one of these went into each one of their personnel files. For next time, whenever they have a opportunity for a promotion, definitely these will be pulled out and reviewed to see what the citizens of the county are writing in and get patting them on the back. So, those are y'all's copies. We'll leave those with y'all.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, next on the agenda is the OSHA report. I think you got it in front of you.
Good evening.
How you doing today?
Doing well, thank you. I'd like to report for the month of July. In the month of July, we had a total of 8 injuries requiring medical attention. That would bring the total for the calendar year up to a total of 139 medical injuries requiring medical attention. The total OSHA recordable for the year is 95. Of those, 45 had restricted days, 14 claims had lost time days, and 36 other. Next page gives you a depiction by the graph of what it is this year compared to the last 2 years, how that looks. Of the 8 injuries that we had in the month of July, the total dollars incurred for those is slightly over $21,211. Those 8 injuries broke down. One of them was for the Board of Education, and total dollars on it incurred was $1,320. And the other 7 were in the Rutherford County General for a total of $19,891. And the next page, you'll see how those 7 injuries broke down within the county as far as departments.
Okay. Gotta ask the obvious one then. I mean,
Okay.
planning, what happened there? Slip, trip, or fall?
No, actually, that is a field injury, and actually in planning stormwater, and it fell under stormwater and planning.
Okay.
Somebody was in the field and had an incident in the field while checking some of the local creeks for flooding.
Okay.
Any questions on his report?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Good probably has been a little modest here. I believe that are you going to give them the update on?
I am. I was going to wait till after the report, sir.
He's on.
All right. Is there any questions on his report? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the report.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion is carried.
I
You got something else?
wanted to recognize a group of individuals tonight. You know, the Board of Education has 45 schools, and each year during the summer, all 45 schools has all their tile floors completely stripped and re-waxed over a 3-month period. Sometimes it's an even smaller period, depending on how fast they can get in there and get that done. A couple years ago, we targeted the schools during that time because 2 years ago we were having an average of 11 injuries every summer because of stripping and re-waxing the floors, people slipping and falling in the wax and things like that. With some of the efforts that we had last year, we were able to reduce that by 78% last year. And I'm happy to say that this year, as a result of continuing to strive to push that forward, we had 0 injuries waxing the floors. So I'd like to recognize every one of the custodians for the 45 schools that we have for the outstanding job that they've done. I think that's an accomplishment that if you've ever, any custodian, member of the Board of Education, employee, or a resident of Rutherford County would be excited about having to see that we've been able to make a goal like that and be able to strive and obtain that, hopefully going forward. So I just wanted to share that with you and tell you how outstanding that is for the school system. I mean, just thinking of every classroom in the county, every one of the hallways, as big as the schools are, the biggest schools and the smallest schools, and the number of custodians involved, to have no injuries re-waxing the floors this year. So,
And no one slipped and bumped the head.
no one slipped, no one fell, nobody turned in any injuries. No one. It was an outstanding effort.
That's good, because I've stripped and waxed floors at the fire department before, and I tell you what, it's hard to stand up sometimes.
It is, and I just really want to identify those individuals. I mean, obviously, there's too many to sit here and name each one at 45 schools, but you know, Some schools have 8 or 9 custodians involved in doing that.
Right.
I mean, some of the bigger schools, you know. And then in even the smaller schools, when you got 1 or 2, if somebody gets hurt at one of those schools, I mean, it puts them behind weeks because there's only 1 or 2 people that can strip and wax those floors.
Right.
But they've done an outstanding job this year, and I just wanted to mention it to you all, the accomplishments they've done.
We always like to hear good news.
Yeah. You maybe you want to put something to that effect on Channel 19 or something like that.
Well, I have, my boss obviously informed the mayor, but I have sent congratulations to the Board of Education and to Harry Gill to express our deep appreciation for, and you don't do, we're not the ones that do this, obviously. You got the people on the ground that have to take the care.
If you would you follow up with the superintendent and ask the superintendent if he would send something out to each one of those principals where that can be forwarded down, where those people the individuals will know, and that will, sometimes we can't give the raises or the things that we want to give them, but if we let our people know that we appreciate what they do, and when they do things like this, that we do appreciate them.
Absolutely. I certainly will take care of that. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, ambulance service report. How are y'all doing tonight?
If Gary would have slipped about, he would make it go low.
Exactly.
She needs 2.
I always give her. You ready? Commissioner Gooch is campaigning.
I'm not campaigning.
He's inviting people to open house. All right.
We made a total of 2,149 calls, and as you can see, that's a pretty big increase over a typical month. 7.8-minute response time, 38 coroner's cases, and 16 autopsies for the month. Billed 1,326,864 and collected 452,333. Puts us on a projection of 5,427,996. Insurance write-offs are 304,975. Collection agency write-offs 307,026. We typically do that in July because of to get the books kind of cleared off there. And we didn't have any expense this month on ambulance county calls.
Back on your projections for, the year-to-date collections, the service that you use, they haven't, they're the ones that are doing the whole thing now. You're not even involved, are you?
Well, we collect the ones that they give up on. We felt like that agency, besides doing medical billing, they also have a collection department in their business, and we just felt like we probably ought to continue to do that, simply because it might make them give more effort to collecting it originally. It kind of seemed like it might have been a little bit of a conflict there, so we just kept that part of it. We do whenever we get them back from them in 90 days, and then we try to collect them, and then if it becomes a collection agency thing, we have a collection agency that we use, and we bid that out occasionally. Mileage at the bottom of the page, we drove a total of 40,288 miles. I think that's an increase. But the number of calls we made also is an increase. And we had a total of 637 calls responded to out of zone. We got a chart later on here that addresses that more specifically. The next page is the in-services and training and the various things that our teams at the ambulance service do, and those are just listed for you there.
Had 2 meth labs in the county.
One of them was on Jefferson Pike and the other one was on Laverne.
Wasn't my house.
On the back of that page is the matrix that shows when calls were responded to out of the zone, which ambulances responded to them, and so forth. As you can see, MTSU station is the one that kind of sets the tone for that, because MTSU is in the largest zone in the county. So they're busy ambulances. When they get busy, the ambulances that back them up are also busy.
I guess they extended the territory from when the hospital moved, probably, didn't you?
No, we didn't increase their territory, but that's just in a total square miles. They cover
Yeah.
all the way to.
They go all the way to Lascassas, out in Lascassas too, don't
They
they?
did. Another factor in that is the Burton Street ambulance. And the Burton Street ambulance is the busiest ambulance that we have, typically. And it used to be that when they took a patient to the hospital, they were still in their zone. But they're not anymore, so they're out of their zone more frequently than they used to be.
You ever do response time per zone, just to see how they're doing?
Yeah, it's on here.
I mean, I'm talking about like zone 1, what their response time average was versus zone 2's average response
Look
time.
on,
You got that?
look on the page.
It's on the back of,
Good.
Critical transport team transported 37 calls and they made 65 911 calls for a total of 102 calls. And on the back of that page is the table that Commissioner P. was referring to.
Refresh my memory, what's the support truck total? Which one was that?
The support truck, originally we intended for that truck to move into zones that were vacated.
Right.
But we ended up using them to fill
Vacancies and.
not necessarily just vacancies, but people who call in sick.
Right.
Last minute.
Backfield type deal.
Exactly. And we have several thank you type letters, and the first one is about Chris Clark, and it's about 3 or 4 pages long, so if you want to read it now, wait and read it later. Second one is actually about Chris Clark too.
I know people. So, kids hanging around with them.
Again, it's good to read things good about people that, 'cause we get, a lot of times we hear the bad stuff about some of the employees, but I like always hearing the good things about our employees too. All of our county employees work hard every day and we appreciate them.
The last couple of pages is vacation denials. I don't want anybody to have the wrong impression that people can't get off for vacation at the ambulance service. They can. It is essentially a seniority system, and they put in for anything over 3 shifts is considered to be vacation. That's top priority. So they have scheduled vacations, but you know, all of them have extra time. And these denials are just somebody wants to be off tomorrow, that sort of thing. If you'll notice, none of them are for more than 1 shift. So it's a last minute sort of thing that sometimes we just deny because we don't have anybody to fill that position.
You gotta have minimum staffing at 24 hours a day. It's an emergency. So, more people can't get off when they want to. It's understandable.
We report their FMLA sick hours every month. And also vacation hours if the employee chooses to use vacation hours for that. Sick hours and scheduled vacation. As you notice there, we had 2,308 hours of vacation for that month.
Any questions on Mike's report? If there's no question, I entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion, do I have a second? And a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. I think you got a budget request.
We have a requested budget amendment. We, Middle Tennessee Medical Center donated $30,000 to us with the intent that we were going to purchase mobile gateways for the ambulances. This is a new and more efficient type of gateway than we're currently using. This money is enough for that, so that we can put one of the new gateways on each of our online ambulances. We'll use the older ones in the backup vehicles, so that every ambulance actually has that gateway. And that means that they can transmit information from their call back and forth to not only our dispatch, but to the billing company as well, and to the emergency room. And we transmit 12 lead EKGs.
Isn't that part of the program that was put in place and where it's actually saved some lives, where getting people to the, that's in cardiac arrest, getting people to the cath lab a whole lot quicker?
And we, that's something that we track very closely. Is at one time, the hospital here, Middle Tennessee Medical Center, their goal was to get patients from the door of the emergency room to the cath lab within an hour. And we recently had a 9-minute, because we were able to get that EKG in, and the cardiologists respond to that. They want to know about it, so they're there, and the cath lab's ready, and we go right to it.
I know I've been to some of those kickoff breakfasts for the American Heart Association that some of those cardiologists there have spoken at, and they speak very highly of this program, and where it has actually saved quite a few people's lives by having this program in place, and you know, so it's a good thing.
It is a good thing, and this is probably going to save us some money too. This also can utilize voice over IP, so we may be able to get rid of some cell phones.
Yeah. Y'all heard the request. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the budget amendment.
Got a motion and a second. All right, discussion. Call the roll.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
Commissioner Petty?
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Farley?
Yes.
You want to give her the rest of these?
Huh?
So you want to give her the rest of these?
All right.
I didn't try.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Paul's report is next.
Thank you, Commissioner Gooch.
How you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Yeah, I think it's on the, report's on the desk. Whenever you're ready, be fine.
Okay. There you go, sir. Did you say whenever I was ready? Okay. For the month of July, we took in 923 animals. 22% of those came from the county, 9% from the city of Laverne, 53.5% came from the city of Murfreesboro, and 15.5% came from the town of Smyrna. You can see of those animals that were brought in, 936 animals went back out. 19.1% of those went out through adoption, and 74.6 went out through euthanasia. At the end of July, we had 125 animals that were in our care in the shelter. 2,103 people visited the shelter during the month of July looking for a lost or a new pet. And then we had 2,545 voicemails or calls that were actually logged by the staff for that month as well. On the second page, you'll see that we received 1,241 calls that were dispatched out, and the jurisdictions as they're broken down there. Out of those calls, 1,210 of those were calls that were completed. You can see the breakdown there of the calls, and it pretty much mirrors the intakes as far as the county and the towns and the cities that those went to. And then we also logged 10,251 miles on our vehicles. You don't have a year-to-date report because it was the first month, so it mirrors the July report. You can see on the rabies exposure and bite report, we had 39 total bite cases. 13 of those animals were tested, with none of those animals being positive. Under the other exposure, 9 animals were reported, 7 were tested, and 1 tested positive. You can see it was a skunk that came from our Rockville zone. It had contact with the dog, and that's the reason that animal was tested positive. There was no human exposure there.
Any questions on this report? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion is carried. I think you got a budget request.
Yes, sir, we do. When we originally set up the budget for this year, we anticipated having Dr. Bingham's surgery wing built and not being able to have to pay the vouchers to those veterinarians. Of course, everything moves a little slower than what you anticipate. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to limp along some money out of the drugs and medical supplies over into veterinary services to pay the veterinarians for the vouchers that are being issued. So we're asking to move $7,000 from drugs and medical to veterinary services. That's no new money. The other thing that we've had is we've had a major issue with our air conditioner that serves the kennel area. Actually, during the month of July, it shut us down for a day while they limped along and got it back up to about half capacity. There was a compressor that went out. It's covered under warranty, but there's some type of coil that has to be replaced. That part alone is $7,900. By the time we do the labor and the Freon, we are anticipating, based on what maintenance is telling us, looking at around $10,000 for that repair. We hope that's going to cover it all.
Can maintenance do the repair, or do they have to?
They're bringing in Roscoe Brown
Can we-
to do the repairs. I think it's something that's more intense than what they're going to be able to do.
Can we get our sheriff's department guy
There was
that
one
we're paying we're paying a salary for an HVAC guy, and the sheriff assured us that we can use him for any county building we want to. If we can save money there, that was the
If we
point of
could,
that.
I think he's probably overwhelmed with what he has to do there to get their system back up to compliance. I mean, more than likely.
For $10,000, we might can wait a day.
But almost 8 of that was the
It's
parts.
just the
So,
part.
yeah.
It's the part. They
Saves about $2,000 is labor.
well, they're saying the Freon, I think, is going to be probably $500 to $600. They said it holds quite a bit of Freon, and then the rest of it's going to be them replacing it. It's supposed to be, basically, we're shutting down Wednesday to have that repaired. They're saying if everything goes right, it's going to be a 4 to 5 hour repair. If not, they're anticipating it possibly taking all day. So we've shut down with the mayor's approval for adoptions that day. We'll still have receiving open for people to bring animals in, but it's just going to be way too hot in there to have people. We'll have to open up the doors. We can't have animals getting out of the cages and those type things. Try to make it manageable.
Okay, how about giving us the history on that HVAC? This is not the one that,
He doesn't know all that.
I don't know all the history. I know
This
it's
is
a lot.
Is this the same
replacement
one?
unit that we put in 5 years ago that has caused us this difficulty. So it was not the original unit.
And I noticed he said part of this was under warranty, but you're saying the part that you're needing to pay for is not under warranty?
The coil is what they're calling this one part is not under warranty. It's a $7,900 part. this compressor that is covered under warranty has been replaced since the unit has been put in. It's been replaced within the last
That's
year.
why it's under warranty.
That's the only reason it's under warranty. Since I've been here 6 months today, I know that we probably put $2,000 to $3,000 worth of stuff into this air conditioner to keep it limping along and going. And it's not that old. Yeah, you may
It's
be.
about 5 years old. And if that
This is the one we had to spend a lot of money to go
Yes.
back and get refurbished.
From the original was designed wrong or whatever.
Mhm.
or something. But, the compressor was way more than the coil, right?
The compressor I want to say that we had done was, I may be getting wrong over compressor versus condenser. I know that we just replaced something within the last 60 days. I think it was around $1,300. It's gone out, it seems like. If we had to add up in the 6 months I've been there, we probably had to have the thing repaired around every 30 to 45 days since I've been here.
And that's always been a problem out there, ever since it was built.
We had the condensation problem so bad and all before clearing it out, is where, from when it was first put in.
Yeah.
So we're anticipating, based on what maintenance is telling us, we hope the 10,000 is going to cover it. We only had $10,500 in our maintenance line to start the year with, so we basically have spent all of that in the last 45 days.
What's the will of the committee?
I'll move for approval.
Got a motion, do we have a second? Is there a second?
How much is a new?
Let me call for it the third time, because we may not.
Okay.
Is there a second for the third time? Motion falls for lack of second. All right.
How much is a new unit?
I'm not sure.
$40,000 to $50,000.
And we have to have air.
We got employees that,
Shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, so we've got, I mean, is there anywhere else the money can come from?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously y'all have looked, but.
At this, our budget is as tight as it can be. I don't have any other lines to be able to pull the money out of at this point.
Mr. Chairman, I'll go ahead and make a motion, we can come back to that one for the first one.
all right, we got a motion on the,
Second.
and a second on the first line item. All right. Any questions on that? Call the roll.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Farley?
Yes. All right, the next one is on the second one.
I'll go ahead and make a motion for the second.
Got a motion, is there a second to that motion? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We
have
got a
to have
second,
air.
we got a second on the motion. I concur with Commissioner Phillips here. I mean, it's 90-something degrees out there during the day, and we've got, and I don't like spending that extra money, but we've got employees out there, we've got animals out there. Next thing we know, we're gonna have the Humane Society down here on us. And I've been up here before and had them up here on us before, and Commissioner McAdoo, I think he was up here then too. I don't know, Robert, I don't know if he was up here then, but it's,
They've Band-Aided it right now. We're running it at half capacity, and if it goes, I don't know what we would do at that point.
Look, the reason I was reluctant even to making a motion or second it, you just brought up that a new one would cost $50,000. Here I am looking at spending 10 here, and how much have you spent in the past on this unit?
We probably spent $2,000 to $3,000 since I've been
Now,
there.
if we continue to spend this type money on this unit, we need to probably look at replacing this unit. If it's gonna be a frequent thing that every month, every other month, you said last 45 days, or?
Right.
We gotta get somebody that can come in there and find out actually what we need that's gonna last.
What maintenance has done since we've been having all of these problems, a lot of the things that needed to be fixed were things they had to hire someone in. One of the companies, and I can't tell you the name, they've started using the Roscoe Brown versus this other company, and we are anticipating that we're not going to have near the problems that we've been having out of this previous company.
Mayor, I think you got something you want to
Let me
say.
just say this, I mean, this is a very, very different type of unit. It's not a standard unit. It has all these things in where we reheat the air to keep this odor and stuff down, so. Before I got here, you started this journey to replace this unit that was there, which was a standard unit, which we've done. We paid for it. That unit has not given us good service. It's pretty obvious. We don't know what to do about that, except to try to keep it in the best maintenance condition we can. Fundamentally, this building was improperly designed to handle the HVAC part of it. We should have had multiple units in there that had these types of capacities as opposed to one massive unit. We don't have the, you're talking about redesigning the building to put in multiple units like this. We're talking about all new ductwork, et cetera. I don't know what the right solution is right now, but right now I know the short term, we've got to fix this. And I don't know if we want to spend $100,000 to redesign and put 4 or 5 multiple units in or not. We're not to that point. Maybe at some point we have to make that decision, but right now they are really suffering out there. I mean, before we got it sort of limping along, it was touch and go. We almost just said, we did shut it down, I think, partially for 1 day or so, but it's critical to the health of our animals and our employees.
Well, while we're doing this repair, maybe it's gotta be some HVAC expert or engineer somewhere in this area that
Well,
can look at this unit and make some
I'm not
kind
sure
of
this
suggestion
unit,
or
the
what.
coil in this unit, but we don't think they were thick enough. We've repaired holes in this coil. I mean, they just came in there, vibrations, et cetera.
Didn't we one time do exactly that when this thing first started, we were having trouble? We brought somebody in here, the Public Building Authority brought somebody in here after it was built, and we continued to have the same problems. And it basically was a design problem from the get-go.
Yeah, but the first unit, it's like you said, it was just a standard thing. And
The
then
unit is doing what it's supposed to do when it works, okay, as far as the reduction in the odors, et cetera, and that air is properly being controlled now. It's just one big unit, and that one big unit has got some basic fundamental flaws in its design, obviously. But the redesign of the building, Ben's already been and talked to the people at Metro. They've got multiple units. They don't have just one massive unit here that puts you at so much jeopardy. So that's where we are.
Is there any way he could talk to, just off the top of my head, is there any way he could talk to maybe a company like Nissan Paint Plant or something? They got those, they got units.
Possibly we could, yeah. I mean, I don't know what type of units they've got.
That's what I was
I
looking
think
at.
what we're all getting at is we're gonna have to find a solution to it. We're gonna, this isn't nickel and dime, this is quarter and 50 cents to death, you know, is the way I'm looking at it now, because I've been up here that long, and it just seems, ever since I've been here, we've had trouble with that thing. And
We've had
it's
trouble
not
with it
fair
ever
to
since it was
anybody
built.
here, I mean, the people that work there, the
Right.
taxpayers and all this.
Is it working at all right now?
It's running
got
around
two
half
pieces-
capacity.
Pieces to it. Half is working, half capacity, and they're able to tolerate that.
Not saying you're not
at
right.
this moment.
Yeah, but,
You know,
we gotta come up with, we gotta have something in place along with that. For, you know, I'm gonna vote for this, but I wanna have an amendment on there or something, or we go further, that we look at resources that are maybe around, that we can at least find out the answer and get a pretty good, you know, and Nissan may be one that helps. They've got, no, I won't say anything more, but anyhow, what I'm getting at is we can find an answer out and maybe, and get a fairly good estimate from someone that knows of what it's gonna cost, and we plan on that for the future.
good, well, you want to make that amendment, or you want to put that in your motion?
I can put my motion, you want to?
Is that all right with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. Is there anybody else?
Just,
Do you want to designate someone to look into this?
well, I think it ought to be Mr. Gregory out there.
Yeah, he can
you know, that he's the one to
Utilizing-
be
utilizing
responsible
It's
for.
past the scope of Mr. Gregory
Well,
and the mayor.
yeah, but
We're gonna have to hire, we can do some research on who else might have something.
Yeah, I was getting this area.
We had an engineer that defined and designed this before us, 5 years ago. You guys selected, the PBA selected the engineer, and this is what the engineer came up with. Now, we can go again.
Right.
The engineer didn't talk about redesigning the whole structure of the air delivery in that whole building, which would be multiple units with these kinds of special capabilities. We didn't go that far. The commission and the PBA didn't go that far at that point. That's one alternative.
I think, to me, we need to know where we're gonna stand on it, so that we do have the alternative to do, because otherwise, we're gonna be in the same boat all the time. And that's what I'm saying, we may not be able to do it this next year, but maybe we can get it done later on, you know, just so we know where, to me, where we're heading, is my point.
Is this something that Ben and I could work together on
Yeah,
trying to
Ben,
proceed?
Listen,
Yeah,
we've been working on this problem about 6 months already.
Yeah. Well,
Before
maybe
the
we can-
major problem here has occurred. It hasn't been that we haven't
I know.
tried, we just haven't been
But-
successful, just to be honest with you. It's a very detailed, difficult engineering problem.
All right, we've got a motion, you wanna read the motion that's on the floor?
Approve the second amendment of $10,000 and designate the county mayor and PAWS director to research options and corrections to the HVAC problem.
Which, we just heard from the county mayor and the director that it's beyond.
But it's not beyond us finding other.
Find
people.
somebody,
Okay.
yeah, that's what we're getting at.
I'm trying to find a solution for it.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going beyond that.
Yeah. All right.
And that's probably gonna cost some money
Well,
for some.
we won't spend any money on
Not
that.
necessarily.
We can see where we are before we go to that step, is what I'm hoping.
All right. There's no other discussion. We'll call a roll on this, okay?
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
No.
Commissioner Phillips?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Farley?
Yes. Is that all you got?
Yes, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you all.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is correctional work center report. I think you got it on the table too. How you doing now?
Good. Oh, thank you. First page is the yearly report. It's just reflecting on the month of July, 'cause we start a new fiscal year, so we just got all the data for that month. The head count, our count has gone up significantly. We're averaging in the past month and a half about 205. Today I think we went up to 215.
About a month or so ago, or a couple of months ago, it was about what, 160, 170?
Right, and then boom, we had this big spike. Like the sheriff's department, if they go up, we go up. So they went up to 8, we've been up over 200.
That was a crime spree, man.
Yeah, it's been an interesting summer. The heat that we get every day. They're acting a fool. Job security. Anyway. Yes, a lot of crews going out.
They want them boxer shorts, what it is.
Designer ones. Incident reports, they have spiked a little bit, but minor infractions, nothing major. We've seen, reflecting on the disciplinaries, due to a lot of policies and just people adhering to the rules, we've come a long way with that. Programs, steady with those. We've seen a spike in the attendance also, especially with the faith-based programs. That's been great. GD just got started up. The school year started, and so we'll see some numbers on that next month. DUI, that's been steady throughout the summer. State trash miles, all the same. It's been steady also.
Any questions on page 1? Page 2 is the monthly working report, reflecting, like I said, July was a relatively busy month. We saved the county $136,000, $32. It was a hot month, so it was pretty good. And then we have the minutes from our last board meeting on August 1st. We discussed the grant request to build the dog houses, and I presented that last month to the committee. We're still waiting to hear back from the grant committee themselves. Telephone RFP, which we did not submit. Food service, our contract with that company, we discussed with them, and we just re-signed and pretty much try to get some more commissions based on our contract with them, and they are working on getting that back to us in the next couple of days. We are going to repair the floors in the kitchen and the food service area. And, the McFadden School, the Magnet School, we did a project with a science teacher over the summer, and she wanted a garden and a pond, and it turned out just great. So if you ever have an opportunity to go by there and look at that project, it really is a great thing. And the ACA process is going along, and same thing with ACA, we should be getting ready to sign the contract with them to get accredited next year. So that's, and TCI, Detention Correction Institute, did an inspection of the facility, and we passed it 100%. Any questions?
Yeah, go back over, if you would, on the kitchen floor.
Yes.
Okay, what happened to the floor? Let's put it that way.
The floor, when it was originally built, wasn't sealed properly, so water started getting under the tile, and it started eroding, and we have some tiles missing, which at some point is one tile breaks and another. So right now it's only affecting maybe a third of the floor. So it's not the entire kitchen floor. It's probably about a third we'll have to replace and seal it properly. So we won't have that. It's just near the dishwasher. It's a common thing in most kitchens if they're not installed properly.
It's only been open, 2 years, that's right.
Right, and it wasn't sealed properly, so hopefully we remedy that situation.
Any other questions on this report? If not,
Make a motion to approve the report.
Got a motion, do we have a second? And a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion is carried. Anything else? Thank you. Emergency management. How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing well, you all?
Doing good.
Been a busy month. We did, thank you. A little exercise with Christian Care in the town of Smyrna and their efforts to become prepared for emergency events at that facility. Significant events, we had a search and rescue down in the Fosterville area for a patient that went missing for a number of hours through the night. We had a long extended search with a vast number of volunteer resources and Sheriff's Department officials to locate that vehicle. Hazmat motor vehicle accident at mile marker 63 on I-24 with a tractor trailer involved up in Laverne. Hazmat also with a wastewater release at Vajon Industries in Smyrna had a wastewater breach of a containment pipe going to their wastewater containment vessel that breached underground, and several thousand gallons of product were lost. It did not enter the waterway, but it did impact the soil. Tests are still being taken with those soil samples, and they're working and coinciding with the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation to attach to any of those issues for soil remediation that needs to take place. Also had several tractor trailers eastbound at mile marker 96 involved in a MVA on the interstate, and a natural gas leak in Rockville with a major 8-inch supply line coming through there. Only other thing of significance was we had a continuity of operations kickoff briefing for county department heads to look over continuity of operations planning for each department throughout the county to be better prepared to mitigate the effects of the potential loss of or interruption of any services that we may endure.
On the, like the 1, 2, there's 3 fire and then it says 1 other. Is that like there's some fires and a bomb threat. Is that someone from the EMA side, or is that with the fire and rescue response?
No, that's, yeah, we responded to those. Yeah, we did have a bomb threat at Oakland High School that we responded to. That ended up with 2 suspects being arrested over that event, and had a young gentleman that was making pipe bombs in his home in Smyrna.
Any questions?
What was on fire at Rockville Elementary School?
It was actually not a fire. It was an engine that seized in a HVAC system. And as it seized and overheated, it caused a lot of noxious vapors to fill the hallway and set off the smoke alarm. There was no active fire at all. But we were fortunate that it was the day after that first half day, so no one was in the school except for staff and administration. And they had a well-exercised evacuation, and everything went smoothly.
Any questions on the report? If there's no questions on the report, I entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the report.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A second.
Thank you. I brought Mr. Gurley with me again tonight to update you on our status with the communications project.
It's moving along. The base for the tower at Tiger Hills Inn, tower shipped end of last week, so it should be arriving by the end of this week, with construction probably starting a week or 10 days after. The building has a delivery date of October 31. That may move back depending on the company's schedule. We will be doing the core drilling for the geological study for the Milton site this week. Also, the environmental studies for Milton, Smyrna, Nolensville, and Lynch Hill sites are in process right now, so we're moving along with it. 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now, a month from now, there ought to be, the county should own the highest protrusion from Marshall Knobs, which should help our communication.
When you go up Tiger Hill, where is this base?
You know where the old
one
fire,
on the left and one on the right.
where the old fire tower was?
Yeah.
It'll be there, right where it was, or very close to where it was.
We actually own that piece of property up there, don't we? Or
We have a long-term lease from the state.
Okay, it's the state property then.
But the state will be co-locating on that, so I don't think that lease will be going away.
Well, that's a good deal.
We do have one issue up there that may be addressed, need to be addressed when we start the Melton Tower project. We had a LP gas power generator that powered the site before its takedown that has ended up missing. We filed a report with the Sheriff's Department, so we're going to have to be looking at alternate power capabilities for the alternate tower site for which that generator was intended.
We've had some thefts up there, like copper and different things in the past up there before, so. Is there any other questions on his report? Got a motion, we got a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion is carried. Thank y'all.
One thing I might mention about those thefts, and he's right, are we looking at putting a fence around his property to keep people out?
Yes, there's going to be, I'm not sure the height, I think it's going to be an 8-foot hurricane with barbed wire across it, and then we're also looking at video surveillance as well for that area.
And alarms?
Yes, sir. There'll definitely be alarms on it. We'll be required to have alarms on it to notify us if we have any tower outage, if the lights on the tower go out, anything of that sort, so we can respond out there and correct the situation, notify the FAA if we can't get the lights back on immediately.
You can always hook an electric fence up to it, see what happens.
I'm not going there.
Keep the deer out.
Thank you.
They keep everybody.
Drug court report. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good.
I'm surprised to see Becky.
Thought you retired.
I do.
You're crazy.
For retiring?
No, for being back.
Come back.
That's all I have, thank you.
What I've given you is my monthly numbers, but also, at the end of July, we had to turn in a state report to both, to the Office of Criminal Justice Programs on both our DUI court and our drug court. So I thought y'all might be interested in seeing how well we're doing.
See, the drug of choice hadn't changed any.
No, but boy, those prescription pain pills are right up there. It's really quite amazing.
Yeah.
I got, is this the same thing? I got two.
Now, one of them says DUI and one says drug. No.
Mine both drugs.
Not both are drug.
I think you have to go into the
Oh.
body of the.
Oh, they go into the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, this is DUI. See, that
Oh,
says
way
Rutherford
down
County DUI, right there.
There's
And
drug
then that
court.
one says, yeah, drug
Oh,
court.
okay.
Okay.
Up at the top.
Yeah,
And at the very bottom.
They look almost identical.
yeah, well, they are. I mean, it's the same report. It's just different numbers. Yeah, it's a web-based report that you turn in.
This is something you have to turn in
Every year.
every year.
Mhm. Yeah, even though we don't get any money from for the DUI court from them, we still have to turn in a report.
Yeah.
So, I think that's kind of not fair, but.
Oh, we're looking through, has anybody got any questions for Mary on this?
You said, Mayor, that the prescription pain medication was, I mean, it's like it's almost 20%. Is that you said that was increasing?
It used to be, the second one used to be alcohol, and then the third one was crack. Prescription meds was way down at the bottom for a long time. And I'd say in the last 2 to 3 months, that's gone up to second place now.
Is there any particular population or just general?
I can't think of any particular. You know, it's not men more than women, or women more than men, or black more than white, or anything like that. It's across the board pretty much.
I know we've had a lot of pharmacy robberies.
I'm sure.
Just recently.
Well, I can't remember if I told you guys this or not. It was in the paper. We got well, not we, but our support foundation got a $15,000 grant from Cardinal Health up in Laverne. Well, not up in Laverne, but ours is up in Laverne. They're actually out of Ohio. And we're doing, with that $15,000, we're doing 2 prescription pill take-back events where people bring in their old medication and stuff. And then hopefully you'll start seeing some advertisements maybe in September, October, but we want to hold a contest with any youth group in the county that wants to participate. And they would do a PSA announcement on video or DVD using, Cardinal Health actually has something called Generation RX material, and some of it's aimed towards adults and some of it's aimed towards children. So using the youth Generation X information, they would do this PSA, and then the top 3 would actually get a cash prize for their organization. So we're pretty excited about that, and it'll, you know, we don't get anything out of it except maybe a little publicity, but it's just the right thing to do. You know, nobody else was going to apply for the grant this year, so we did. And we're working with the Community Anti-Drug Coalition. The first one's going to be October 29th. That's actually DEA National Prescription Pill Take Back. And then the next one will be in April. So,
when is your contest going to open?
Well, I'm actually meeting with our vice president of our board next week to get that going. So, but we hope to have all the entries in and everything by December, and then in January announce a winner. So, and then start.
Would it be like a video?
And hopefully we'll be able to show. I haven't talked to like Brian or anybody yet, but hopefully we'll be able to show it on the access channels and in the whole area in Smyrna and Laverne too. So I think it'll be a neat thing for the kids anyway. You know, they get money for their organization. We get the word out there a little bit more about, especially the kids taking the prescription pills out of their parents' medicine cabinets, stuff like that. So it needs to be done. It's getting to be a very, very serious problem with our youth.
It might be a good idea to make those available to the schools to show if they'd want to. Because they'll be fairly short. They might could show 1 or 2 on announcements one morning.
It's a good idea. So, we're always doing something.
Anybody else? If there's no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion on the report.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Good to see you, Becky. You too.
Juvenile detention report. I don't see the director here. Move right along. Is there any other business to come before the committee?
I've got something. I'd like to invite everybody out to the opening, to the groundbreaking for the First County Fire and Rescue Building. It's 2:30 p.m. on Friday. It's been a long time coming. I know me and Commissioner Farley, before I was on the commission, have been working on this for. I've been working on it the last 4 years, and you've probably been working on it the last 10. So
I've been working on it the last 15 years.
But it's a long time coming. It's a beautiful design. It's going to be something that's built for the long term. I think it really benefit the community out there.
Yeah, I think everybody got emailed about the Friday at 2:30, and it's, like, Manny said, it's been a long time coming, and it's, I think it's gonna benefit the entire county, and, as far as the fire and rescue.
One thing else too, the proximity to Veterans Parkway, when that road gets open, it'll actually be able to service the whole southwest part of the county and then actually get over to the east side once they cut that road through all the way. So it's in an ideal location.
Yeah.
So.
Also, with that, I know, one thing I want to, if the recommendation, I think y'all got the recommendation, or the everybody's committees that, I think the chairman of steering has emailed those out, or they may be in your mailbox, but, I think, Commissioner McAdoo, I think you didn't put down the public safety this time, but I want to, let you know that, I appreciate your willingness to serve this last year and enjoyed this past year with you on public safety.
I think Commissioner Phillips twisted my arm, wanted that position, I believe.
Yeah.
Since he retired, he was looking at it, so.
Yeah. So, but, and I think everybody else, looks like everybody else has put down that they want to come back, and so hopefully we'll all be working together for the next year, so.
As long as you keep Becky here, I'm good to go.
Oh, yeah, it's good to have Becky back.
Yes, it is.
I always got her around the corner, so I don't know where she stands.
Just make note that, I don't know exactly who officially got this done, but the clock is working properly. And Becky may have done
It was a committee.
Yes. All right. Is there anybody else who has anything to? All right. We don't have anything else. We stand adjourned. Thank y'all.